Hey, what's going on, everybody? Henry Johnson here from Digital Home, and today we're going to update you on a lot. 5G networks, Alexa, Google Home, and a whole lot more. Get ready. All right, guys, so you may have just heard my Alexa came on when I said that, and she's probably going to do it again now that I just said that. But on today's episode, I have a lot to talk to you guys about. We're going to start with Ecobee. I think that was probably the most interesting news that I heard this week in regards to what's happening in the smart home world. Ecobee just raised $61 million from a host of different people, but Amazon was one of them. People may know a while back Amazon invested some money into Ecobee, and just this week they're putting more money into them. Probably a lot of different reasons why. It's obvious that Amazon is paying a lot of attention to the smart home realm with their purchase of Ring, what they're doing with the Amazon Echo, and more. You see in the Ecobee that they are building Echo into it. I'm working at not saying the A word, if you guys haven't noticed. But they have built Echo into the Ecobee thermostats so that you don't necessarily have to buy that Echo station, that would sit on your table that's, yay big, etc. You can just have your thermostat there, and that will be your listening device that will then be able to do all the commands that a normal Echo would be able to do. With that 61 million, what they've said is that they're going to be using that to invest more in that voice control with Echo. Who knows? Maybe that will also open up to other things like Google Home, like Josh AI. I don't know. Because Amazon is the one investing, I guess we'll have to wait to tell. But something that I know they are definitely doing is they're rolling out their own light switches that is essentially a competitor to what like Lutron's doing, Leviton, and a host of other people who have smart light switches out there. What's interesting about what Ecobee is doing is that their light switches actually do have Echo built into them. So I don't have a picture of them, I don't have one with me, but you guys should look it up. They have a really interesting look to them. They have like a little light, just like all the other Echoes do, so that you know when it's listening. And you'll be able to say commands to it just like you would any other Echo device in your house. It has the technology so that it knows which Echo should be listening to you, which one you're closest to, and all that kind of stuff. And it has like a lot of the smart features that other smart light switches have, like being able to turn on or off at certain times. It seems like this may actually have some extra features that I'm not familiar with other smart switches having, like knowing daylight saving time and things like that, which is really interesting to me. They also have built-in sensors with them, so occupancy sensors, so like they'll know if you're in the room, if you left the room for a certain amount of time, they'll cut off and things of that nature. What they're missing, because at first I'm listening to this and I'm like, oh, maybe I should just switch from selling Lutron light switches and just go with this, is two big things for me. Is that one, they don't work with three-way switches. So what a three-way switch, for people who are not in the industry or are not familiar, is essentially a three-way switch is when two light switches control the same lights. So your kitchen lights may be controlled by a light switch over there and a light switch over there. With these Ecobee light switches, that wouldn't be a good use case for them. You'd essentially have to cover one up or something of that nature, which in installations where I'm trying to be very clean and make technology fit into your lifestyle, that doesn't really fit. So that's already not going to work for me until further development of it. And also, they're not dimmers. They are only on and off switches, and I like dimmers, and a lot of my clients do as well. I think they do a lot better job of setting scenes for you, and then also being able to help with controlling a little bit of the uses of energy in those rooms. That's still to be proven whether that actually saves energy, but from a placebo effect, I think it does. Moving on from that, let's continue with the Alexa theme.
You can ask me your question, and if I don't know the answer, I'll perform a big search in the Alexa
Echo theme. The Echo made an update, and now that they are able to make phone calls between each other. So they've had the drop-in feature. So they've always been able to make, well, not always, but they've been able to make calls between different Echo devices within your house, so almost like an intercom system. But now what they're doing is also allowing you to make those calls between the Amazon tablets and some of the Android tablets as well. We'll see what that all means. I just want to keep you guys updated on what's happening with Echo because I think it's a game changer for the smart home industry as well as that of Google Home, right? And something that they did recently, or this week better said, is that they've made it so that developers can have a lot more control over the commands of how they use the Google Home. So instead of having to say things like turn on date scene or date mode, or turn on date, right? Let's say you have a scene that's date, and brings down the shades, turns on some nice music, maybe turns the lights down a little bit. Now you'll be able, and let's say that's all through Lutron, for example. Now instead of that saying, you have to say turn on date scene or turn on date, you'll just say Google date or something of that nature. Or for example, let's say it's a washing machine. You'll say Google spin cycle. Google instead of Google turn on this cycle. It's interesting. We're going to see how it plays out. Right now, it's just something that they've offered, and so it's still very theoretical how people are going to use it. But I look forward to it, and like I said, these are going to be huge in the smart home space if I am correct at all. And so I think that it's worth paying attention to and staying up to date on this week to week. The next thing is August door locks. So they were bought by Yale earlier this year, and now they have their door locks, but they also have a doorbell, which is like a competitor to the Ring doorbell, right? It has a camera facing it, so when you ring the doorbell, you can go to the app, look at it, and see who's at your door. Pretty straightforward. Something that they've just rolled out that's different than Ring is that they're going to be allowing you to actually have access to that camera roll for 24 hours for free. They're not the only ones who do this. There are other ones, but out of the big names, right, Ring and them really are the ones most people know. Skybell does, I think, have actually free, but if you know Skybell, write in the comments and tell me, because I don't think a lot of people do. I think it's really them and Ring who are the main competitors. Claire Controls, I think, is a good one for us, like integrators who want to integrate it all into a system. But if you're just buying a doorbell, I think these are really the two that you hear about. And that being able to roll back 24 hours is a lot of times all you need. When something went wrong within 24 hours, typically. And with these apps, the way that they function, they make it very easy to roll back and look at all this kind of stuff, which I think a lot of the IP camera companies can do a lot better at, and could potentially be the downfall of them. And for everybody I talk to, that's probably the thing that they hate the most. I think it's interesting. I really look forward to seeing what's going to happen with it. And August plays well with the home automation platforms out there. They work with Savant. They work with Vera. So they're working with Control4. Work with a lot of the other players out there. So I like seeing that, because if I'm doing a Savant system, if I can throw an August doorbell in there instead of a $1,600 doorbell from Doorbird or something like that, I think for a lot of people that would make more sense and enable them to get the whole encompassing home automation platform that they want. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is just kind of piggybacking on last week's, and then I'm going to get out of here. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but the Broadcom recently, it was in talks with Qualcomm, I believe it is. Let me make sure those names are right. So yeah, Broadcom was in talks with Qualcomm to purchase them for $117 billion. It would have been the biggest tech purchase ever. Yeah, it's just bigger than the Dell EMC purchase. And it was just stopped by executive order, which is very interesting because, I mean, from my knowledge, I haven't heard of many executive orders stopping purchases of companies, especially if it's not like a monopoly. It's not a monopoly discussion. This was because of national security discussions. The U.S. government has talked about rolling out a government-sponsored 5G network. I talked about 5G last week. 5G is going to be huge. The fact that the government is literally stepping in and stopping purchases of companies because they believe there's a security risk of having a Singapore-based company like Broadcom owning so much of the intelligence that something like Qualcomm has is a threat to national security. I think that is a huge statement for what's going to happen with 5G, and definitely another thing that we really need to stay focused on, because it's going to have a big effect on how we live our lives, just day to day with these, but also when it comes to smart homes and how we're going to interact with those. 5G is going to really change the game, and I'm really looking forward to hearing more about it. Maybe I'll actually do a full video on 5G, get an expert in here and talk about it. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. Let me know in the comments. I think that would be something very interesting to talk about. But that's it for today, guys. Trying to keep it shorter if I can. I'm long-winded, guys, so I'll do it again. But if you guys want to chat, as always, comments. I think I've mentioned it like 2 times this episode. Please leave something in the comments if you're interested in talking, or if you just want a one-on-one, our website, digihm.com. There's a little box of my picture, and you can click that, and it comes to me real time, and we can text back and forth. So, love to chat with you guys, and you guys have a great day. Go crush Wednesday, because this is coming out Tuesday. Peace.